the full trailer of The Strangers Chapter 1 is out. And I have to say I'm pretty excited for this movie to come out in May. The original is one of my favorite slasher movies of all time. The sequel was fun but not as good as the first one. They kind of shot themselves in the foot because they killed all three killers in that movie. And that was kind of very disappointing. The first movie was great because you didn't know who the killers were, and you didn't know why they were doing the things they were doing, and you never got to see what they look like.
Why are you doing this to us? Because you were home.
So it's basically three psychopaths just killing for the fun of it. It's like a game for them to see if they can do it or not. The sequel had some credibility issues. Aside from killing all three killers, there were some points in the movie where I thought that they went overboard. Like the male killer being able to drive a car that's on fire and drive it for a long while. And together with that they killed all the killers, which made it feel like that was a closing and you couldn't do anything more. You can't build upon something where you kill off all your most interesting characters. It was a disappointing movie for that reason. So I never thought that we would get a reboot this soon, just 6 years after the last one had its release. But I'm glad we are getting it. And after seeing the new trailer, I'm really happy about it. The trailer seems overall like a copy of the first movie, at least what we can see. And that's a bit worrying, but I hope that they have a plan. At least it seems like they have a plan. The tagline is that we get to see how the strangers became the strangers. So that can be exciting or it could fall apart. But hopefully we get a lot more than what is shown in the trailer, or at least that we get more new ideas to this. Also another thing, the kids in the trailers are weird and they seem connected to the killers. And that can be a very interesting aspect to this new story.
Tough crowd, right?
Hi.
Hi.
Hopefully they use that to its full potential. Renny Harlin is directing this and he is a very experienced horror director. He has directed some good entries in other horror franchises, like the Elm Street franchise, with some varying results, of course. So hopefully this is one of his good movies. We are introduced to two new characters, a totally new couple that is getting terrorized by these psychopaths. And from what can be seen in the trailer, their performances are good. The new actors do work in the trailer at least. Hopefully it shows in the movie too. It is one of my most anticipated horror movies this year. And we are getting a totally new trilogy if this one does well. Or not, maybe if it does well, because they have shot 3 new movies already. And that is ambitious, so they must have some trust in that these movies are good. Otherwise, why spend money on making 3 new movies in this franchise? My biggest worry is that the trailer looks like the original movie a lot. It would be very disappointing to get the same movie all over again. I hope when I go and see it in the theater that I get a very big surprise and that I get a very good movie. If I do get the same movie all over again, it would just feel awkward because the original is not a very old movie, so why make the same movie again? What would be the point of it? And the trailer looks like a beat for beat remake, and I hope it's not, because I want something original with this concept. Hopefully the tagline is a sign of something new, and that the kid characters have something to do with it too. This story being 3 movies is a sign of that. Even if this looks like the original a lot, There is a lot more to be told in the other two movies. I think they can really expand on the lore and explain why these psychos are doing what they are doing. But I also don't want them to show too much. I don't want a bad explanation for what they are doing and remove the mystique of it. That would be a big mistake. Also, this being a prequel, I have a thought about that. I'm wondering about the blonde girl that was one of the killers. If you remember the ending of the original movie, she was quite new. It was her first killing, her first murder. Or at least it seemed like it, because the other characters were telling her that it would be easier next time. And the blonde killer, she doesn't seem to be in this trailer. And with this being the first movie of 3, I'm wondering when she will show up. Because all 3 of them are crazy, but she was the most crazy one of all 3. And she was the one that was talking the most out of them too. And with the tagline being how the strangers became the strangers, I'm wondering where they will connect her to the story. Or she might be in the movie with just a different hair color and length of the hair too. Who knows? All in all, I hope this new movie will be great. Because I think the original is one of the most underrated slasher movies of all time. And the sequel was good, even though it was disappointing. My hope is just that it isn't a rehash of the original and that we get something new to the story, new to the lore of the movies, and that they don't get too crazy with the motivation of the killers. Because as a fan of the first 2 movies, and especially the first one, it would be very, very disappointing to see them just mess this up. The legacy of the first movie deserves better than that. If you liked this video, please like, share and subscribe. My goal for this year is to reach 100 subscribers. So I would very much so appreciate the help. What did you think of the new Strangers movie trailer? Please let me know in the comments, and thank you very much for watching.